The Senate displays so much impunity writ large. A matter had been taken to court, and the court had given an interim order, gave a return date, and they thought in their own wisdom that they have a right to override the constitutional right of a citizen, of a senator, to go to court to present the matter wherever he feels that his civil rights and obligations have been violated. So what the Senate had done is unconstitutional, is illegal, and the whole way the matter was presented, pedestrianized and discussed, is just the usual old boys club, where they found somebody who they can now think is a stranger. Therefore, he or she must be dealt with to teach him or her a lesson. So asking about Senator Natasha's knowledge of the rules is neither here nor there. That's not the point. Somebody has alleged that somebody sexually assaulted her. Okay? So if that is the case, that is a very weighty matter that does not require the man just sitting down there and laughing and presiding over his own case. Are we primitive? Are we not civilized enough?
Nigerian Senate suspends a senator over sexual assault accusation. I feel like crying. The Nigerian Senate has suspended a female senator after she accused the presiding officer of sexual assault. Now this kind of thing now won't carry our face they put for Nigeria. Maybe people they see saying so we day. Is this not an embarrassment to us as a country that today like this? Now this kind of thing we go to see. Maybe people they talk about us like this. As if this one never do.
Hello, wonderful followers and subscribers of Legal Son. I hope this video finds you well. Alright, guys, the Natasha Akpabio suspension saga has taken another turn, and like I speak to you, this thing is seriously messing up the image of Nigeria in the global stage. Now, firstly, the lead director for Center for Social Justice has come out to lend his voice. Guess what he had to say? The guy blew her. You got to watch his video. I think it was an interview on Chinese television. Now, he says that the suspension of Natasha Akpabio is unconstitutional, is illegal. Number two, this guy, he exposed a lot of things. Like I've been saying, others have been saying that the Senate president is hiding a lot of things. Hence the reason why the hurriness for them to suspend Natasha. Not only that, most of you know this popular international newspaper, ABC, is a reputable media platform, just like the BBC, the CNN, and the rest. Now, you get to read the way these guys, they shame the image of Nigeria, because of Akpabio. I guys see this video about to watch is just super loaded. Also, Aisha Yusuf has also she was interviewed on the Rice TV with one of the first lady Senate. Okay, now you get to hear what Aisha Yusuf review, what she had to say. In fact, when she was just talking, I have to give her a salute because she is just too loaded. It's just too loaded. Not lastly, PDP, they've also come out to react to this. Now, anyway, their reaction is very good. But the question many people are asking, how come one of your members has been oppressed and suppressed, even suspended? It took you guys a long time to come out to defend her, to speak on her behalf. You understand? But however, what they say really makes sense. They even went further as far as exposing Akpabio. Remember, this guy used to be a customer to EFCC for looting 100-something billion naira while he was a state governor. Yet, Pablo Escobar have to make him a Senate president. This is very interesting. It's quite loaded. What really interests me here is the reaction, of international media. Number two, the reaction of the lead director for social justice. Before delving into this, do me a favor by liking this video, share it in all the platforms, let the world see it. You remember, there was a reporter yesterday that came from the US about the international human rights. They reacted to the human rights abuse that is going on in Nigeria. Okay, so these small things we are doing, the world is taking on. So like this, share it in all your platforms. All right.
How can the Senate display so much impunity writ large? A matter had been taken to court, and the court had given an interim order, gave a return date, and they thought in their own wisdom that they have a right to override the constitutional right of a citizen, of a senator, to go to court to present the matter wherever he feels that his civil rights and obligations have been violated. So what the Senate had done is unconstitutional, is illegal, and the whole way the matter was presented, pedestrianized and discussed is just the usual old boys club, where they found somebody who they can now think is a stranger. Therefore, he or she must be dealt with to teach him or her a lesson. So asking about Senator Natasha's knowledge of the rules is neither here nor there. That's not the point. Somebody has alleged that somebody sexually assaulted her. Okay? So if that is the case, that is a very weighty matter that does not require the man just sitting down there and laughing and presiding over his own case. Are we primitive? Are we not civilized enough? I am outraged at what has happened, because if we continue going this way, the world is not waiting for us. Sooner than later, already nobody takes us seriously. We are going to be marked as a nation of people who don't use their common sense. So it has nothing to do with our knowledge. It has everything to do with the character and lack of integrity of those who operate in the system and simply want to drown the voice of somebody who raises a dissenting opinion. It is not proper, it is illegal, and it is unconstitutional. Finally, how can you suspend somebody elected to represent a zone for 6 months? Even under their rules and what the courts have said, the highest you could suspend such a fellow is about 2 weeks or thereabout. So who will be speaking on behalf of that zone for the 60 days, withholding salaries and all this? You could see the punitive backward mentality in how they announced with glee their punishment. Those in favor say aye, those against say it's ridiculous, extremely ridiculous.
One of the things that we must understand is the fact that sexual harassment is not something to be condoned. And it's gone on for ages, but it's not acceptable. And we almost understand that the silence of our mothers and our elders is not our silence. And also our own silence is not the silence of the younger generation. And they're pushing back, and they have a reason to. On the issue of the sexual harassment, at any time that a victim feels comfortable or have had enough and speak out, we must understand that a lot of time there are always remote causes to something. You take it in, you keep quiet, and there's a moment where you just can't take it enough. And I think Senator Natasha Akpabio got to that particular stage, and when it was like, enough is enough. I can't keep being harassed. And we know, we all live in Nigeria. We know the kind of environment that we live in, and the fact that women are not protected. And so you find women across everywhere, even little children are being, harassed sexually. And now we have someone at the level that she is speaking out, and yet, they're sort of like trying to silence her. And I think what is most instructive, and I haven't seen this from the Senate, is the fact that there needs to be an independent investigation. Nothing is being said about this. Focus is more on technicalities. And even if we go into the technicalities, when I see us talking about, the Senate being an institution that needs to be protected, it has its own laws and everything, why is it that the Senate, it looks as if it's almost like it has a court-like, mafia-like kind of appearance to it, whereby there are members who behave badly, who do badly. You never see the Senate coming out to actually punish them or suspend them at any time. And this is a pattern. Nigeria needs to watch out for this pattern. At any time that you see, any member of the National Assembly being suspended or something like that, it is either they're standing for the people, they're speaking up on issues that are happening, they're revealing information, or they're fighting injustice. And it becomes very easy to suspend it. And I'll give you a quick example. We saw a situation whereby, not this assembly, we saw a situation whereby a senator was caught on camera physically molesting a lady where he had gone to buy something. At the end of the day, fellow senators were saying to him, do you want us, we want us to protect you or not? And they ended up protecting him, and they didn't do anything about it. And if you think that the Senate is an institution that should be respected, they should begin to live by those examples. In terms of the sitting arrangement, we've even seen the Senate president, when he was a floor member, had also had its meltdown and breakdown over sitting arrangement. And this is not the first time. Senator Natasha is not the first to go ahead and do it. And so when we focus on technicalities and not on the issues and the injustice that we've seen, and to quickly add that on the issue of her writing her petition, yes, when you have a case, you are supposed to be the one to write your own petition. There are certain rules if they don't make sense, if it's not about equity, if there's no justice to it. Sometimes you have to challenge those rules. Petitions that are coming from your members, from your constituencies, of course you're not supposed to sign it. But let me ask amongst the, I'm not very familiar with the Senate rules, so I would say yes, I'm not knowledgeable enough. But the question I will ask, is there a place where it explicitly says that if you are writing a petition against a fellow senator, is that you're not supposed to sign it, or is it the signing is only when petition is being brought in from your constituency? But beyond that also, and the biggest travesty of it all, is the fact that the accused was also the judge in this case. If you're talking about the Senate being an institution that is so well respected, that is supposed to be of members who are distinguished, even though they haven't distinguished themselves, you would expect that they would have had the courage to have said to the Senate president, step down on this issue. Let someone else, an impartial person, stay on it and, take charge of that particular session. And if the members of the Senate were unable to have the courage to do this, then you would have thought that integrity would have made the Senate president to excuse himself and come down and say, on this issue, since I'm the one who is being accused, let me step down and let this go on. None of that happened. And for me, the question is this: what right does the Senate or members of the Senate have to take away something that the Constitution of this country has given someone? Senator Natasha was not made a senator by her fellow senators in the Senate. She was made a senator by her constituents who voted for her. And even when there was issue with that whole election, she went to court and she got her mandate back. And so they cannot strip her of something that they were not the ones that gave them. And I don't think it makes sense for you to suspend somebody for 6 months. They don't have a right. They shouldn't have a right. And that should be challenged. And that has been challenged before. To suspend anybody from their legislative duty, what they can have a right to is to suspend you maybe from taking part in committee activities, from taking part in some oversight function. But for this is a travesty that we should all, stand up for. And let me just end up by saying that Senator Natasha was not humiliated. The Senate humiliated itself. It shows that it's full of men and women who don't have courage, who do not understand that they are all first among equals, and that they were sent in by their citizens, and their allegiance is supposed to be to the Constitution, to Nigeria, and to their constituents. They decided that they were going to bow their heads and do nothing when they saw injustice being done. And I will end with Senator Natasha's words. This injustice will not be sustained, and this will be the beginning that will lead to a shift in this country.
About inside that matter too plenty. So we could start with the first newspaper where BBC write about or the international blog write about as BBC write BBC talk say Nigerian lawmakers, that is people where they make on a law join together, not be one person. Say Nigerian lawmakers don't suspend a senator for 6 months, a day after she submit a petition where Carrie say she been done this sexually harassed by the Senate president. Natasha Akpabio last Friday now make some of this allegation on top Godswill Akpabio will be the Senate president. Now so they use carry for their headline. But we could go see how other newspapers they use carry this matter. So ABC News carry am saying Nigerian Senate suspends a female senator over sexual assault accusation. Hey! Nigerian Senate suspends a senator over sexual assault accusation. I feel like crying. The Nigerian Senate has suspended a female senator after she accused the presiding officer of sexual assault. Now this kind of thing now won't carry our face they put for Nigeria. Maybe people they see saying so we did. Is this not an embarrassment to us as a country that today like this, now this kind of thing we go to see? Maybe people they talk about us like this. As if this one never do. Al Jazeera can't carry their own come. Say Nigerian Senate suspend female senator who made sexual harassment claim. Nigerian Senate don't suspend female senator who talk say they sexually harass her. Eh? Senator Akpabio suspended for 6 months after making an accusation against Senate President Akpabio. Now, so Al Jazeera take carry am. Hell! Hell! Now, what kind of embarrassment is this, and what does this mean? That Nigeria, as we dey like this, now these kind of things them now would they say, and at the kind of embarrassment would they give ourselves with this? Well, still talking about Natasha matter, you know, say Natasha don't face serious issue then where. Remember when she contest for governorship position, whether under SDP or so, and where be say, Yahaya Bello that time, I be the person where she contest with that time, even call boys and they go burn her house, come they boo her, they call her Ashawo. She grant interview that time with BBC and she get to talk a lot. She say he pain her well. I know if he played that interview because of plagiarism for BBC, but I sure I go don't see that interview they go around well. Well, different occasions they will be say, Natasha said she said don't stand strong for things we get to do with intimidation. Well. Make we go look at New Year message which she been post on her page, one of her social media platforms, how as she use chronicle the things in which she don't go through from when Yahaya Bello divide her road into two. Because of say the road really to our constituency into two, because of say waiting, make election materials no fit cross go there. Make people they carry election materials no fit cross go there so that she no go fit win the election. Ew! That one said he did for one corner. Now this woman don't go through those things. Plus when they burn her house because she contest for governorship position. Plus when it be say they intimidate her, thief her votes for inside this particular senate which she did so till she can't go court go reclaim the mandates back. For plus the charity work then which she do to people for inside her constituency and all of those plenty things then day which she be say she did do, and people love her not be small for inside her constituency, and I want to make them vote for her overwhelmingly. We know, say, Natasha Akpoti, her mama, now whether Russia be Ukraine, now her mama from, and then her papa, now person will be seen a doctor self from inside inside Kogi State where she from come. And Natasha Akpoti, na person will be say she don't day, even though say she be lawyer, she don't get job before for Brass NLNG, but she be person will be say carry community service for head. Now person will be say don't they do for her people already before she dey contest election. So she chronicle all those ones. But other videos them also show where EBC people.
According to Punch newspaper, PDP condemned Natasha's suspension. The People's Democratic Party has condemned the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpabio from the Senate over a clash with Senate President Akpabio over seat arrangement. In a statement issued on Friday and signed by the National Publicity Secretary Debo Olugunamba, the PDP stated that the actions taken by the Akpabio-led Senate leadership against Akpabio appear to be an attempt to cover up the issue. Recall that Akpabio, who represents Kogi Central, has attributed her recent challenges in the Senate to her refusal to comply with sexual advances made by Akpabio. In an interview with the Rice Television on February 28, Akpabio, who had been in the news the previous week following a public altercation with Akpabio, provided a side of the story. The issue started on February 27 when Akpabio discovered that a seat in the Senate had been moved without her consent, leading to a frustration and a brief disruption of Senate proceedings. Following this, she was referred to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions for disciplinary action. During a hearing on the matter at the National Assembly on Wednesday, Senator Nada Imaswen, who led the committee, revealed that the harassment petition Akpabio had filed against Akpabio was dismissed. The Edo South Senator stated the petition was dead on arrival due to a violation of Order 40 of the Senate standing orders. In a twist, when presenting the committee report on Thursday, Akpabio announced that Natasha had been suspended for 6 months for breaching Senate rules. In response, the Kogi Central lawmaker declared that she would not accept injustice. But PDP, in a statement, said the party observes that the hasty suspension of Senator Akpabio without an open investigation into the weighty allegation of sexual harassment against the Senate president not only negate the principles of a hearing, especially in parliamentary convention, but also portrays the Senate as an institution that endorses, condones, and offers protection to reprobacy. The party also argued that the 6-month suspension of Akpoti Uduaghan effectively denies the people of Kogi Central Senatorial Zone their constitutional right to be represented in the Senate. Olugungba stated, "It is scandalous and amount to gross abuse of office and violation of the fundamental right of justice and fair hearing to sit as a judge in a matter in which he is accused, a situation which validates public apprehension of a desperation by the embattled Senate President suppress open legislative probe, who the allegation of sexual harassment leveled against him. If Senator Akpabio has nothing to hide, what Nigeria expected of him was to clear his name by stepping aside in line with established parliamentary practice, allow and submit an open and unbiased investigation into the allegation of sexual harassment by Senator Akpoti Uduaghan. It is indeed a national embarrassment that the person of the Senate President and Chairman of the National Assembly is being mentioned in a case of sexual harassment, which has now tell the image and integrity of the highest lawmaking body in Nigeria. Ordinarily, under this situation, the Senate President needs needs no prodding to step aside for an independent investigation to clear his name. More distressing is the fact that since Senator Akpabio assumed office as a Senate President, the leadership of the Senate has been largely unfocused and constantly embodied in scandals, including allegations of financial impropriety as well as negligence and abdication of his constitutional duty of checks and balance to the excesses of the executive arm to the detriment of millions of Nigerians. The party further urged the Senate to redeem its image and integrity by restoring Akpoti Uduaghan and ensuring an open investigation into the matter. Given the act of public anxiety on this allegation of sexual harassment, which has already escalated into protest at the National Assembly, the PDP urges the senator to redeem his image and integrity by immediately reinstating Senator Akpoti Uduaghan and ensuring an open investigation into the matter, it added. Okay? One more thing. Is it finished? Okay. I thought it added. Okay.